Hello, Bloomgami, and welcome back to the Bloomgami podcast, episode 28. And in this episode, we are going to be talking about the potential trade swap there between Zac Lomax and Jack Howarth. Sorry about my dog there. He's just coming in, just saying hello to me. So sorry about that. But anyways, yes, we are going to be talking about Zac Lomax current situation at the moment, and we are going to be talking about why we need to sign a forward before the season starts, and why Brian Kelly may potentially prove everyone wrong in the same similar situation as what we had last season. So, if you guys are brand new to the YouTube channel and to the podcast itself, make sure to go and follow our socials on YouTube, TikTok, and also on Instagram themselves. And make sure to give us many support and feedback as soon as possible to improve on the podcast itself. We are happily to receive your feedback and to improve the podcast for many Paramount fans as soon as possible. So, other than that, guys and ladies, let's get into it. Okay, so before we do go into the first ever topic here for Zac Lomax for a potential swap for Jack Howarth, I do want to mention that we are, sorry, we were meant to have a co-host coming in tonight, but unfortunately, he does have some personal issues going on at the moment. So we are pending to get him on or another person on that we are searching for at the moment. So if you guys do want to become a co-host of the Blue Garmy podcast, please DM me either on TikTok, on Instagram, or on any on our socials there. So please do that, and I'll get back to you people ASAP. So yeah, but anyways, let's get straight into the first ever topic. So Zac Lomax potential swap for Jack Howarth. So in this topic, we will be talking about Zac Lomax's recent situation with the Melbourne Storm, trying to offer Para a big offer to snatch him and snatch him off. But as Lomax has signed contract to leave in good terms and that he won't be able to go to another NRL club, he ridiculously fights against the club and hires Israel Folau's former lawyer to somehow win the case, which I do believe probability of him winning is low. Because when you sign a non-compete clause, you agree by good terms that you will seek another opportunity outside of the NRL as you promised. Not at another club like the Melbourne Storm, which I have heard some recent news that I think the Storm like joined the situation. I'm not too sure, but I haven't really read into it. But anyways, yes. So why does Lomax had to be a much bigger diva than Jerome Luai? It is absolutely re, ludicrous in my opinion. Like Jerome Luai, as we all know, is a complete grub. And yes, he does have that attitude where he thinks he's a big time star, he's a champ, he's making his silly faces, he thinks he's making himself look like the Joker, as what everybody else seems to see him as. But he does stay loyal to his club, and he has said that to the media and to Lachlan Galvin. He was very immature himself and was having a big whinge about Benjamin Marshall's coaching style, where it wasn't really his fault. And when he went to the Bulldogs, everybody thought with Gus Gould overhyping him so much that people thought that he was going to be the one for the Bulldogs, which he should have went to Parramatta, but it didn't matter because he completely just flopped and just burst the Bulldogs' winning formula. That's absolutely just made the Bulldogs go 0-2 in the finals. So, yeah. Look, I know that the Tigers didn't make it to the top eight, and I know that they are going through their own situation with the West Suburbs and the Balmain merge type of identification thing. But look, you always have to stay loyal, and I like those type of players that don't break the contract and that they stick to the contract. But the fact that Zac Lomax is not only not sticking to the contract, but not sticking to the terms and using a lawyer to fight against the club's right, which the club has no right to be involved in his situation for what he has done to leave this club to go to R360. So why is he using Israel Folau's lawyer to try and win this case so that he thinks he's going to be big money and that he's going to do the same thing as what he has done to St. George Illawarra Dragons? It makes absolutely just no sense. And I used to rate this player as one of the most underrated centers in the NRL. But it looks like that time has passed. And yes, he has won an Origin series, but he has missed a lot of goal kicks for New South Wales in 2025. That has kind of cost us the game, along with Laurie Daly's mediocre coaching tactics, this and that. And yeah, uh, what's more to say? Zac Lomax has completely just made himself look like a clown, and his career is officially finished, in my opinion. So yeah, we're going through my notes over here. Um, Look, Buzz Ricefield on X, as we are going back to the trading discussion now. He has said that he will trade Zac Lomax for Jack Howarth, which the rumors are now coming out that this is likely going to happen. Now, I have seen some mixed views about this, and they have said that he is an injury prone player. His attack and his ball handling is a little bit how are you going in that, but he does have the footwork. He does have the passing accuracy. He does have the speed, and he is kind of similar to William Warbrick, if you want to put it that way. But anyways, it's a little bit questionable to go for both. If you if the club is not confident to trade in Zac Lomax for Jack Howarth and to go for Warbrick instead, since he does have that rugby union experience, so they thought so maybe they can think that they might look into that, which, in my opinion, still he still needs some time to develop. I mean, he couldn't even execute the finishing icing on the cake in the grand final, where he had the opportunity to do it with his acrobatic skills when being so deeply under pressure. So yeah, I mean he does have that in him. You could say that defensively, but attacking wise, he's not always consistent. And yeah, um, and plus he's not a goal kicker. And this is also going to another thing. Is Jack Howarth also a good trading in for Zac Lomax to be a backup goal kicker? Now, um, Jack Howarth's goal kicking position is not primary; it is secondary, in my opinion. Sorry, well, as I did my research on, but um, do you guys think that his goal kicking rate will be better than Jonah Pezzett? Now, I have heard that Joan the Peasant has been goal kicking behind the scenes, all thanks to the Cumberland Throw. Shout out to them to 60s, aka Craig, who does the preseason training behind the scenes report. And he has said that Joan the Peasant at the moment is goal kicking. He hasn't really said what's the actual rate for it. So we have to wait and see on more information coming out from him. So if you guys want to see more behind the scenes from the Premier Eagles training sessions there, go and check out the Common Throw on 60s preseason training reports there. It is absolutely a fantastic read. So go and do that and go and support that Paramount podcast there. But anyways, going back to the topic here. Now, look, you do have other trading, options like Xavier Coates, which we all know that's not going to happen because he is very loyal to the Melbourne Storm, and we all know that he is in the Melbourne Storm's plans. But I would have not but it would have been not a bad option. I know that his discipline is still not the best, but I would have gone for Stefano Yuto Kamanu. Now I know that Stefano Yuto Kamanu didn't really have had any spark or didn't walk the talk where he was talking crap about the Broncos during in the press conference before the grand final, and then he failed to show up wise. So yeah, but coming back to Parramatta, could this help him with his game to see some familiar faces there throughout the pathway system? Maybe, but who knows? I mean, look, Jason Rolls and the team itself, as we all know, does need some in-depth forwards at the moment. I know that we have signed Jack DeBellin, which we are going to go into the topic right now. As I do want to say to you guys before we go into the next topic, do you reckon that Jack Howarth is a great trading in swap for Zac Lomax? And do you reckon that Zac Lomax is going to win the case? In my opinion, he's going to get absolutely just stuff all, and he's just going to do is just have a cry about it. So yeah, um, if if I was seeing Zac Lomax in person, I would give him a box of tissues and just go and cry yourself in the corner. So yeah, so shame on you, Zac Lomax, for showing absolutely just no loyalty and just no shame at all for not agreeing to the terms and not staying to the terms as what you should be doing. So, anyways, guys, moving on from this topic, and let's get into the second topic of the podcast. So, as we are going into the second topic of the podcast, it is why we need to sign a forward before the season starts. Now, obviously, we have missed out on Keon Kilamatangi, and he has gone to the St. George Illawarra Dragons. And I know that's a massive loss for us since we are trying to seek for more in-depth back rows there. Now, I don't really know any other forward that is pretty decent on the market since we have been very late and we have mistargeted a lot of players on the market, which it has been a little bit disappointing. But at the same time, we still need to stick. We still need to stick to our goal to stick to our future pathways players there, which I will talk about more of them in the next coming episodes. So stay tuned for that. But anyways, going back to the topic, yes, we do have a lot of good young forwards coming through. I have heard that Luca Moretti is going through a rehab at the moment, so he will be out until he is ready to ease back in and just to get used to it. my biggest worry is that will he have the same effect as Jermaine Hopgood, where he went through a big rehab, and that when he came back, he looked a little bit off, and he didn't look like his 2023 self when he debuted in a season, and he was absolutely just incredible for us. So yeah, I am hoping that he will stay consistent and that um, he's his fundamentals uh, will stay the same, and that he won't make any silly errors in that, as what Jermaine Hopgood did last season. So let's hope that doesn't happen. But yeah, look, I am really looking forward to seeing what Matt Dory and Charlie Geimer is going to do off from the bench. Charlie Geimer has absolutely just exploded in 2020 in 2025. Well, I mean, kinda. He did have a very slow start, looking like where he skimmed down his weight. It looked like it was a little bit of a wrong and a bit of a off mood from his body type and the role that he plays in. So we all thought that he was going to play as a lock when he debuts in 2024. I believe against the Broncos. I'm not too sure. I think it was against the Broncos. I could be wrong, but yeah. But then him and Jack Williams, the ultimate duo, were absolutely incredible throughout 2025, and them two had so many combinations in themselves that they kept on passing to each other, supporting one another, and just trying to burst through holes with a little help there from Riley Smith himself there, from dummy half, making those read money types of plays there, to really get those strong short runs there. Sorry, those strong short ball receivers to really burst through those holes throughout the middle edges there. So yeah, very good to see on what Chai Ligama will um, offer us in 2026, and let's see on what the little tank will pump up in 2026 with Jack Williams, and possibly on what new combination that they might spark with Jack DeBellin. So we shall see with that throughout, waiting on more details and more maybe improvements and things that they might be working with during preseason training. So yeah, let's see on how that goes. But yeah, look, um, like I feel like that we need to sign a mid-20s forward. I know that Keelan Kilamatangi, missing out on him might be good and it might be bad. You know, he is like near his 30s, but still, that's uh, at the age where Keelan Kalamatangi is at right now. Most second rowers, when they hit that age, they play at the absolute peak at the moment. So yeah, like your Angus Crichton's, who else there? Liam Martin, I believe he is starting to hit that age. Who else there? Bloody who else? Who else? Who else? Who else? Who else? Come on, there's another second rower who was at that age. Mm, mhm. Yeah, look, I can't think of any other second rowers uh, from the age, but you get you get the point on where I'm coming from. So yeah, look, um, do I reckon that we will sign another forward before the trial start. Look, we have been rumored with Michael Molo, I believe, or either his brother. I believe I might have to check that out just right now. So just give me a sec. Yes. So okay, we're still going. Thank God. So I have seen the rumor. So it was Michael's brother, Francis Molo. So my bad. So after missing on Kila Kalamatangi, it has been reported that South Sydney Rabbitohs and the Premier Eagles, both of whom were beaten to Kilamatangi's signature, are expected to monitor Molo's situation closely after he enjoyed a strong 2025 campaign with the Dolphins. While Molo remains contracted at Redcliffe until the end of the 2026 season, he is free to negotiate with rival clubs immediately under NRL rules, and interest in the 31-year-old is beginning to build. Now, getting another old head, really, I don't. I'm not a big fan of this. I'll be clear out. I'm not a big fan of this. Look, look. I like on what Rolls is doing at the moment, but I feel like signing Jack DeBellin is enough for to fill in for any old heads to come in. So I don't think we need another old head to really fill in to monitor any other forwards coming through our pathway system. I feel like that's completely just unnecessary, and really it's just going to like block off any other forward just to get their opportunity, and the space is just going to be a complete waste, and it'll be a complete waste where it's going to cost us to re-sign those young forwards, especially Charlie Geimer, who is still off contract at the moment. I believe Richard Pansini is still off contract. I might be wrong, but yeah. I'm not a big fan. I'm not a big fan of this. I am just hoping that we can get somewhat of a decent mid-20s forward, which I thought we were going to sign. As I put out a rumor of this young Roosters back row who is now going to go to the Super League, I believe. So it has been rumored that Xavier Vaha has officially signed with the York Knights in the English Super League on a 2-year deal. Now, Vaha was released by the Tricolours at the end of December after making a solitary NRL appearance back in the middle of 2024. The prop who was signed by the Roosters out of the Broncos Academy, along brother Dila Sale, faced a tricky run of injuries during his time at Bondi. Dila Sali remains with the Roosters and will push for NRL action throughout 2026, while Xavier should become a part of the best 17 at the York Knights, who have been promoted to the Super League for 2026. So, he comes highly recommended, and his footage looks exactly like the sort of player we were after. But more importantly, he seems the kind of player who will fit the culture. We'll have a York, Ladia from the coach Mark Apple Garth, as he told the website External. And yeah, so he has found another club in the Super League, the York Knights, who have been recently promoted to the Super League. And yeah, so another big loss that we could have gone for, but he has had some injury prone issues. So I think it was pretty good that we would avoid this type of player. But who knows? But anyways, going back to the topic. So yeah, just to finish off here. Look, I'm just hoping that we can get a mid-20s type of forward throughout um, before the preseason. Before the trial starts and the main season starts. Or we could get a mid-20s forward that could be very utilized, like a Bo Fermor, as what we have done with Dylan Walker during mid-season. So it could be another mid-season signing that Jason Rose at the moment might be a little bit tricky for him, just to find the exact right one to really fit into the depth for our forward pack. And just to be fair, um, to give a big opportunity for many space for our young forwards coming through, just to get some good minutes in them and get that good experience, just to get them ready for the future, so that we are ready to officially go full throttle for premiership success and to end the drought finally, since it has now been um, 40 years 40 years, I believe it has been 40 years since we have last won the premiership, which has been in 1986. So yeah, we shall see on what happens. But at the moment, we have to stick on what we have, and we have to stick to the plan, to our foundation, as what Jason Rolls has been promising ever since he has arrived here. So let's see on how it goes. But anyways, let's move on to the final topic here. I know this episode is a little bit short, but I don't have a co-host here to really discuss more about these type of topics, so I do apologize. I will get onto it next time. So yeah, but anyways, guys, let's move on to the next topic. So on the final topic here, guys, will Brian Kelly prove everyone wrong? Now, looking at my notes over here on what I have to say. Now, he has been that one promising player, right, that always seems to have that speed and footwork, mostly at the Titans. And obviously, he has played for Manly back in 2018. But obviously, his highest scoring season was scoring 12 tries for the Gold Coast Titans back in 2021, which was his peak. Now, I am hoping that Sam Moore will improve on his defense, since he is a little bit how you going with his missed tackles in that throughout the last couple of seasons. So I am hoping that Sam Moore will improve on that, and that he will just sail him well away from being a potential Morgan Harper 2.0 flop. And yeah, I am hoping that Sam Moore also, speaking on him, will learn from his mistakes from last season. But anyways, I know he hasn't scored as many tries in the last couple of seasons, but he's a great backup for Bailey Simon. And he is and if he does go down injured, Bailey Simon, as what he has done 2 seasons ago, I think in 2024, where he was out for the whole entire season, and I think last season as well. I am hoping that Brian Kelly will be fit enough to really show his full potential, and that he can get back to his full peak on how he was in 2021, but above and beyond, and that he will shock everybody else, just like how Josh Okar did, guys, when we signed him. And everybody was criticizing Jason Rolls when he signed him. Oh, why did you sign an absolute crackhead? Who was just going to be a complete flop on how he was at the Bulldogs last season, causing trouble. Let's not this and that. But Jason Rolls put the pressure on him, saying that, hey, I know that we have worked in the past, but if you really want to make the team, you really need to show me that you really want it. So I want you to do this. Show me that you want to play for this team, and that you want to change, not only as a player himself, but also as a person, which he has done that. Sorry, which he has done that. He has done so many charities. He has absolutely just exploited on the scenes. He has um, had so many incredible intercepts, incredible tries, long range tries, so many great commitments, and that he is coming back to that absolute peak on how he was at the Melbourne Storm, which obviously some people may say that's coming from the Melbourne Storm apprenticeship experience from Jason Rolls himself, of course, but still I am hoping that Brian Kelly can get that experience from Jason Rolls' apprenticeship experience from both the Chookies and from the Storm himself, and that he can inject that into Brian Kelly's veins, and that he can absolutely just turn into an absolute speed star and just put on maybe some muscle. I know at the moment he has started training and he is easing in at the moment, but I am hoping that he will um, be well connected throughout the culture and throughout the team, and that his communication, especially with the Fox, being all loud and trying to lead it and trying to lead the team. I am hoping that Joshua Carr will teach him on exactly the same way as what he was trying to prove everybody wrong in 2025, and that I'm pretty sure that Joshua Carr is going to do the same thing to Brian Kelly to do the exact same thing as what he has done in 2025 to show that that Brian Kelly has not dropped off since he hasn't had that many minutes and being dropped off into Queensland Cup. And yeah, uh, a lot of people when we did saw him, some people did say when I did post out the breaking news that he is a New South Wales Cup player at best, and some people were saying why. Why do we sign this player? Like, why? Well, guys, like, tell me any other in-depth signing that we can possibly go for. Okay, Ruben Garrick is still at the Seagulls. He hasn't left to go to the Roosters yet, but we all know that in his mind that he is going to stay loyal to his former captain DCE, and that he is going to chase him to the Sydney Roosters and to join him there. So it's pretty pointless to do the exact same thing and just to throw in big money as what we have planned to do for Keelan Matangi, which has obviously failed as the last missing targets there. So what's the point on risking it where we should go for Brian Kelly straight away since the Sydney Roosters have kind of done the same thing, getting Tommy Talau. So we are a little bit lucky that we were sorry, we were a little bit lucky that Brian Kelly was available on a short notice, and that we will sign him there up until 2027. So he is on a short-term deal until we can get another level backline player. But who knows? Like we could extend Brian Kelly, and I know that Josh Hoffman did pretty good for us, where he came from the Titans, most of playing his career for the Brisbane Broncos, and he did a pretty good job on the wing. I know that Brian Kelly is a backup there for a center, but he can also be a backup there for a winger as well. So yeah, he can play the same role as what Josh Hoffman can do. So yeah, all he has to do is just put on a little more muscle in that, and he has to work on his defense, which that's up to Sam Moa to learn from his mistakes from last season, and to then be very confident that he will improve Brian Kelly's defense and the rest of our backline defense, and just to stay consistent on how we were playing some absolute peak footy going towards the end of 2025. So yeah, let's see on how it goes there for Brian Kelly. But what do you guys think? Blumgami, do you reckon that Brian Kelly will prove everybody wrong as what Joshua Carr did in 2025? Let me know in the comments down below. But anyways, guys, that's the end of episode 28 of the Blumgami podcast itself. If you guys have enjoyed episode 28, and if you guys have made it so far to this episode, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel itself. And make sure to follow us on all socials on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok itself. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Balloon Army. Balloon Gold never folds, and go para. And I'll see you guys possibly next Friday or whatever type of date that I will be scheduling for the upload of episode 29. But anyways, guys, take care and see you later.